Mr. Ashok Atluri, one of the promoters of Zen Technologies, was asked as to how are battles won. And he replied, most of the battles are won by well trained soldiers. We can never win a battle if there are gaps in training. And even if the equipment is older, nothing can beat a well trained soldier. He noticed severe shortages in shooting ranges and ammunition for training, and that's what got him thinking. He knew how armed forces in the West use simulators to equip their personnel with flight, gunnery, and marksmanship. With some friends and small loans, Zen Technologies was born with a modest capital of 5 lakhs in 1993. Hey folks, CA Rachna Ranade here, and I welcome you all to Stocks in Focus 2025 series part 1. Now, this year I thought that we should kick off this new year by discussing three stocks from three different sectors, and that is the reason why I mentioned part 1. The very first stock, I hope you are already aware, I said that in the first part of the video, is Zen Technologies. It's from the defense sector. The second stock that we are going to do is from the metal sector, and the third stock that we are going to do is from the pharma sector. These stocks are such which I believe are fundamentally good, but this whole all these videos are to be checked out only from an educational perspective. I'm here to teach you as to how can you analyze stocks from multiple sectors, and none of these are to be construed as stock recommendations. Before we move on, something really important. What is it? It's about my first ever live event in Mumbai, which is Har Ghar Investor. It's going to happen on the 19th of January at 2:30 p.m. Mukesh Patel Auditorium, NMIMS, Ville Parle, and it is already filling fast. So if you want to have a seat of your preferred choice, oh, this is already gone. If you want a seat of your preferred choice, book now. The link is there in the description box. But what will you get to learn? Three key takeaways. Number one, I'm going to talk about some important rules that you must follow if you want to master your money. Number two, I'm going to talk about how can you build wealth in the longer term using stocks and mutual funds, and I'm also going to specifically talk about how to approach stock markets in 2025. And third, and the most important thing, you'll get an opportunity to ask questions directly to me, because we are going to have a separate Q&A session towards the end of this specific event. I hope you'll enjoy a lot. So hurry up, book your seats now. Link is there in the description box. See you soon. Now let's understand what does the company do. I'm going to read out a sentence which appears in their management presentation. That's how it goes. Zentech designs, develops, and manufactures state of the art combat training solutions for the training of defense and security forces worldwide, and is a leader in providing counter drone solutions for safeguarding the borders, critical infrastructures, etc. And I'm sure that you have understood nothing. Okay. So, what we are going to do is we'll try and just break this sentence down and see what does the company do. So first things first, I hope you have understood this one word which is called as combat training solutions. Means what? This company is going to develop something, they're going to manufacture something which will help the soldiers to train in a better way. But how do we train the soldiers? And for that, have a look at this. Now if you see, you can see some sort of virtual simulators. Now for example, soldiers can practice shooting using these virtual simulators, or any soldier who is going to drive a tank, he can also practice that using a virtual simulator. But all these are virtual. What about live simulations? And for that, have a look at this. Now, if you see here, you can see some live ranges and also live simulation for tanks. Now, with the help of such combat training centers, I hope you have understood that how soldiers can better equip themselves to face a real war situation. Now, the second thing that they focus on is counter drone solutions. And for that, have a look at this. Now, if you see, you can visualize something like this, that there is an army vehicle which has radars inbuilt in it, and it creates a range that if an enemy drone enters this range, it can be given as a warning signal, or they may also have certain solutions through which that drone can be shot down then and there itself. With this, I hope now if you I mean, if you have a look at the same line again, what does the company do? They develop and manufacture what? Combat training solutions for the training of defense and security forces worldwide. So I hope now this is clear. Training and combat training solutions means we were talking about the virtual simulators, the live simulators, the training centers, and they are also providing counter. They are the leader, in fact, in providing counter drone solutions, the one that I just talked about right now. And all these things can be used for safeguarding our borders and also our critical infrastructure. Now, which who can be the key people that they are serving? Obviously, they are going to be the Indian Armed Forces, it could be state police forces, and it could also be the paramilitary forces. Now that you know that they are into training simulation equipments and counter drone solutions, let's understand where do they earn their revenue, or how much is the revenue split. Now, if you have a look at this pie chart, you will understand that 56% of their revenue is generated from training simulation equipment and 44% from counter drone solutions. Now, both these are products, but doesn't the company provide services as well? Of course, they provide annual maintenance services. And now, if I were to mix the products and services revenue, both these put together actually uh, total up to just 92% of the revenue, and balance 8% is contributed by the AMC revenue. Now, talking about the product portfolio in a little bit more depth, they have in all 40 products in their portfolio. Till date, they have also done 1,000 plus simulators, and all of them they have designed and developed in house, and they are also shipped across the world. The essence of Zen Technologies business lies in the fact that they also have a strong IP barrier to mainly keep the competition away. What is IP? Intellectual property. So let's imagine something like this, that if they are manufacturing some anti drone solutions, they will apply for an intellectual property right, and they will have, I mean, they'll get it patented. So, will that automatically kill the competition? Answer is yes. So, just to get some numbers on that, till date, currently it holds 75 global patents out of the 155 patents that they have filed so far. So, just to wrap this up one more time, total 155 patents filed, out of which they have already gotten 75 global patents. And in the last 5 years, company has deployed almost 10% of their total sales ka figure for research and development purposes. So, all in all, I hope you have understood that because they have a good focus on research and development, they are able to get more and more intellectual properties. They are able to have more and more patents in their name, because of which the competition is automatically reduced. Now let's understand about the industry analysis, defense as an industry. So I hope everyone knows that largely we have been dependent on imports for defense related products. But now the government is very clear. I mean, since last few years, government has focused that we are going to reduce the imports slowly and steadily. And not only that, we are also going to focus on exporting defense related products. But what is the target? By 2025, our government has kept a very ambitious target of having 5 billion US dollars worth of military exports. 2024 figure, or the current figure I must say, is at 2.4 billion US dollars. So from 2.4 billion dollars ka current figure, our ambitious target is to hit 5 billion dollars. That's a 2x growth in export. So let's see whether we are able to achieve this or not. With proper directed efforts, I'm sure we may be able to at least get closer to that target. And India, for that purpose, maybe is also very much promoting private sector collaboration, so that there can be a good boost for not only reducing the imports but also gaining more and more exports in this specific sector. Now let's try and understand about some key financial parameters for this company, because now that we know what does the company do, we have also understood that they have ensured that the competition would be comparatively less. We have also understood that the industry outlook is also very much favorable for them. But very important is how are they doing. So what I've done is I'm going to present to you the last 3 years data. What all are the important points? Always remember, you have to understand about revenue, you have to understand about EBITDA margins, you have to understand about PAT and PAT margins. This is like very common, right? But other than that, if I'm talking about key ratios, ROE or ROC, you have to understand. If I'm talking about a defense company like this, if you remember, I had already talked about it. R&D expenditure, how much are they spending, how much are they investing in R&D, is what actually I should say. That is important. And whenever I'm talking about any defense company, one more very important parameter is order book. Because if they have more and more orders in hand, that is where their revenue visibility comes into play, right? With this, let's understand some key figures, and for that, have a look at this. First things first, revenue from operations has gone up massively from 53 crore rupees in 22 to 430 crores in 24. EBITDA has gone from 7.28 crores to 191 crores. I'll just round it off now. EBITDA margin from 12% to 43%. PAT has gone up from 2 crore to almost 130 crores. PAT margin has gone up from 4% to 30%. ROCE has gone up from 1% to 41%. R&D expenditure has gone up from 13.8 crores to almost 27 crores, and order book status has gone up from 431 crores to 1400 crore plus. What did you understand? So I directly took you from a jump from 2022 to 24, right? But all the figures, be it revenue, EBITDA margin, PAT, uh, or PAT margin, or R&D, whatever, la la la, everything is in an absolute growing trajectory. But what we discussed right now was past 3 years data point. Now what is important is latest data point, which is Q2 FY25 highlights, and that's what we are going to check in the coming section of the video. Now I'm going to compare Q2 FY25 data with Q2 FY24 data. First comes first, revenue has gone up by 264%. EBITDA has jumped by 322%. EBITDA margin has improved from 28.4% to 33.1%. Profit has increased by 310%, and the company also has a robust liquidity position amounting to almost 1100 crore rupees plus, and this amount can be used for future R&D investments and also for strategic acquisitions. This was about the Q2 FY25 highlights. Now also let's understand a little bit about their shareholding pattern, and for that have a look at this. Now if you see here, from 2017 to 2024, the promoters holding has decreased. From 2017 to 23, in fact it was slightly going up, but in 24 you can see specifically it came down drastically from 60% to 55%. But there is a growth in FII holding from less than a percent initially to barely 1%, 1.2% in March 23, which went up to 3.8% in 24 and to 5.72% in September 24 half year ended. Also you can see DIIs have also increased their stake drastically from barely 0% in 2017 to 8% plus in 2024. So whatever promoter holding has decreased has been absorbed primarily by FIIs and DIIs. Now what could have led to the promoters selling shares? There could be two possibilities. Possibility number one could be debt repayment. Possibility number two could be a QIP, which happened recently, a few months ago. But we are not, I mean, we tried to find out that data, but we were not able to get absolute data that, okay, yes, this is the reason why the promoters had sold the shares. But all in all, even if promoters are selling, institutional investors have shown good interest in this stock. Now let's understand about a very important point, which is about the order book status. Because as I mentioned, order book is something which is going to give you revenue visibility for the company. As at the latest data that we have, 30th September 2024, their order book stands at 956.74 crore rupees. Now, important point. Out of this 956.74 crores, roughly 400 crores are expected to be executed in Q3 and Q4 of this year itself. Now, with this, they'll be left with barely 550 crore plus orders. Is that going to be a problem for them? So, we are going to discuss about this in the immediate, in this section of the video. Only just wait for a minute or so. But this was the data as at 30th September. In fact, on 1st of October itself, they received another order from the Ministry of Defense worth 46 crores. So, not a huge one to say. But then management was asked that what is your expectation? How much orders do you expect to secure? Fresh orders. How much do you expect to secure in Q3 and Q4? And for that, management has mentioned that we expect around orders worth 1,200 crore plus orders to be received in Q3 and Q4. Plus, they have mentioned that the order pipeline is roughly 3,500 crore rupees. Now, what do we mean by order pipeline versus order book? Order pipeline means they have already submitted their bid, but they have not yet finally gotten the approval for that. Once they get the approval, that will be like, once they get the order, that will be like an order book. Okay, so there's a difference between order pipeline and order book. Order pipeline, they are expecting to be 3,500 crores, and order book, fresh orders, they are expecting to be 1,200 crores in Q3 and Q4. So, have you understood one limitation? The big limitation is that one of their key client is government. And if government doesn't give orders, if government reduces the budgetary allocations on defense, can that be a big problem of for the company? Answer is yes. Plus, if they delay the payments, can it actually collapse their cash management? Possibility number two, again, yes. But thankfully, the government's focus on defense is pretty much high. In fact, when management was asked a specific question whether the government will start going a little slow on the ordering activities, promoters specifically said that we expect that the order pace will continue to sustain. We have said that third and fourth quarter is when we are expecting more orders to come. We don't see any slowing down at all, and that is what they have very clearly mentioned in the management con call. Does that give us a little bit of comfort? Yes, but what just gives one small jitter, that is not about the order book, that is about the PE ratio. How much is the PE ratio for Zen Technologies? It is 110 already. Is that high? Yes. But typically, you might have seen that, defense companies do command a high PE ratio. For that, what do we need to check? See, right now, we know their expectations. We have to check whether Q3 and Q4 numbers are in line with the expectations that are set by the management or not. If Q3 numbers go lower as compared to the expectations set by the management, can this stock see a correction? Yes. But if the actual numbers meet or beat the expectations, can this be a big boost for the stock? Again, answer is yes. Let's move on with the final part of the video, which is about the future outlook, where management again has very clearly mentioned that we expect a revenue CAGR of 50% over the next 3 years. They have mentioned, why are we stating 50%? Because there is this huge area which is still untapped. This huge area is the untapped market in anti-drone system space and in similar market space also. They are mentioning that there is an opportunity in the anti-drone system market worth 10,000 crore rupees in the next 3 to 5 years. Simulators market opportunity is worth almost 15,000 crore rupees in the next 5 years. So all in all, they are saying that looking at the market opportunity, whatever targets we are setting, we believe that we are confident of achieving this, is what management has mentioned. Okay. In also one more latest news, I hope you saw that it had come up on the 1st of January. Our Minister of Defense, Rajnath Singh ji, has declared this year 2025 to be the year of reforms for the defense sector. He has mentioned that we aim at transforming the armed forces into a technologically advanced, combat ready force. If this were to again transform into reality, is that going to be a good sign for the company? Answer is again yes. Let's understand about the revenue guidance also. First things first, 2024 latest data that we have, the current revenue. So 2024 revenue was around 440 crore rupees. 2025 expected revenue is 900 crore. They're currently on track. 2026, 27 and 28 data revenue guidance is at 1350 crores, 2000 crores and 3000 crores. So again, understand, when management has given such revenue guidance where CAGR would be around 50% in for revenue, they will have to work hard and they will have to ensure that they are able to meet these targets. What is one more important point that we have to look out is the 2025 budget, which is expected in the immediate next month, ideally on the 1st of February. In that, again, if government prioritizes defense, if they give more and more allocations for defense, the entire sector and companies like Zen will definitely be in focus. I hope you enjoyed the first part of Stocks in Focus 2025. I've also mentioned you that the second one is going to be from the metal space. The third one is going to be from the pharma space. I want you all to tell me in the comment section which one, according to you, should be that stock in focus. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll see you in the next. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye bye.